BTN, 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 BTN.
Welcome to another great episode of Behind the Name. I'm your boy, Blue Dilla.
And your boy, Prince J. Ryan.
Hey, listen, we've been waiting on this interview for the longest, man. And we finally got him, man. We finally got I can't even talk today. The living legend himself, founder of K-59. We got Marcus in the building. What's going on, big bro?
Yes, nothing much, man. Just living. I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
It's an honor, man. It's an honor and privilege to even have you, man. Have you on the show. I'm a student of the game still, you know what I mean? And I'm amped for this interview. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be taking notes on my phone. So
right, straight diamonds for real. Hey, for real, going to the roots of the tree right now.
Roots, man. One of the fathers, you know, of this whole ordeal for the dance Chicago Footwork culture or the dance culture in general. So we want to start out with your beginnings. From your beginnings, where did it all start for you?
Man, it started, I would say, 1989, man. And I want to be politically correct. Everyone say I'm the founder of K-59. Actually, I was a member of K-59. You know what I'm saying? Back in '89, I seen this guy. His name is Maurice. He's the actual founder of K-59. He's one. Back in the day, we had the football jerseys and stuff like that. And me and my cousin, Big Marcus, and a couple more, Aaron, Janelle, we seen this guy with just the jersey on and said, K-59. He's like, man, we used to hoop all the time at the park on 95th. So we seen him, we was like, man, what you got this jersey on for? He's like, man, I got a stepping proof. And back in the day, around that time, that was school days time. So it was like, man, we want to be a part of that. So it was him and three other brothers, Cornelius, Striblin, Rodney, and one other brother, I forgot his name. And he was like, man, just come aboard. You know what I'm saying? All we do is step. So we was like, okay, let's get it together. We had practice we start out at Abbott Park on 95th and State. So basically we just doing fraternity step. You know what I'm saying? So after that, we was like, man, we got together. Let's go to Leo. Let's go to the Hummingbird. Those that know anything about the Hummingbird, Leo High School, all those Mr. G's, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, we practiced, and then next thing you know, it was like, okay, let's make our introduction. So I think we went to the Hummingbird, and all I seen, my brothers, was big groups. I'm not talking about no small groups. It made you think that you was in school days. All they was doing was stepping, clapping, and doing fraternity steps. And so we was familiar with it, but we was like, okay, we're gonna get a part. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this. And it was about, I don't want to say about 8 or 9 of us. And you look to the left, to the right, you see groups with 20, 30 people in a group. And we didn't hold no punches. We was like, okay, we got a small group, we're gonna step against it. And lo and behold, yeah, we got thrashed, you know what I'm saying? But our determination was like, we're gonna go back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it was like, man, we gotta enhance our stepping ability. We had to do what they was doing. So we started recruiting. So we went from K-59 to Xi Sigma Phi, which is a Greek, we went into the Greek library. We was like, okay, let's try this. And then matter of fact, let me go back. Before we tried that, K-59, our colors was the Michigan colors, blue and gold. That was our colors, you know what I'm saying? So we did it for about a good 2 or 3 months, and we was like, man, we cannot win. let's go to Xi Sigma Phi. And at that point, our colors was maroon and white. You know what I'm saying? So we was like Xi Sigma Phi. We got a little deeper. We got some brothers from up north in the Lincoln Park area. You know what I'm saying? They was like, okay, let's be down. So we went from six to 7, 8 to maybe about 15. From some brothers from out south, some brothers from up north. So we said, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna go to the Hummingbird with a little bit more numbers. We did that. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to make a statement, make a name for ourselves. But again, it wasn't happening because you had groups like Crunch Bunch, the Bruhs. There was so many groups out there at that time. I don't want to miss nobody, but I can just, just say the groups that was in my head that really like destroyed us. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Those that know about Crunch Bunch, the Bruhs, you know what I'm saying? They was like the biggest groups out here as far as steppers. Wow. So we was like, man, this is not going to work for us, man. It's like we tried. We had the meat, but we didn't have the numbers. Right. So I seen this. Me and my guys seen this group. They had on red and blue, and it was nothing but U5U. We was like, man, where do these brothers come from? And I mean, they came deep. When I say deep, Darnell Payne, Untouchable Unity, we was at Leo High School, and we seen these brothers come in 60 deep. When I say 60 deep, 59 guys and 1 female. Her name was Inez Williams. And I mean, they came in there like soldiers. So I'm like, we all look like, who is this group? Darnell Payne had these guys lined up like soldiers, like an army. And we just sitting around, music juking, everything. We looking like, we stopped what we was doing to see what they was doing. They came to the door, paid their money. They stood still and didn't move until Darnell said, he was like Malcolm X. Y'all remember that? Malcolm X, and he made that.
Hey, that's what I was thinking.
Darnell was like, who is this? And Darnell, I hope he don't destroy me. He had a little high top fade, skinny, but he had the voice. He had that authoritative voice, like attention. And it was like, and we stopped. We were like, what the heck? Who is this group? Now, mind you, the Bruhs and Untouchable Unity at that time was the biggest groups out, but we didn't know nothing about Untouchable Unity. So we looked. They came in and stepped a whole. They marched from when they paid their money around the whole basketball court, just stepping and chanting, doing the little claps that we used to do back in the day, fraternity steps. We was like, oh my God. So my guys were like, man, we need to get with them. So I'm like, yeah, we should. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. So we dropped the Zach side, met up with Darnell and say, hey, we want to be a part of your team. He was like, let me tell you one thing. This is not what y'all want. And we was like, and my guys is from Cabrini Green. And those that know about Cabrini Green, these guys were savages. They didn't mind nothing that Darnell was saying, but we was like, okay, we for it. He's like, y'all got to pledge. Pledge? What you mean, pledge? It wasn't like how it is now. You audition in the dance group now. Audition, you dance, show a couple moves, and you in the group. No, you had to pledge to be in U5U. And those that know about pledging, you got to pledge, get your butt whooped, do things that, you know what I'm saying, that was required to do to show your loyalty. And I want to emphasize loyalty because that's what it was back in the day, loyalty. So if you didn't mind pledging and then going through Hell Week, you was in. You know what I'm saying? Most guys can't handle that. But me and my guys was like, okay. And U5U at that time had two. They had conservative and they had the dogs. So we had a meeting at Darnell's mom house. Mama Payne, she's the first mama of dance industry, along with Ronnie Sloan, Mama Barbara Sloan, God rest her soul. She allowed us to meet at her house. You know what I'm saying? They were staying on 79th, I think it was 79th and May, and in her apartment. And Darnell said, do you guys consider yourself dogs or conservatives? Me and my guys look, we dogs, we scrappers. Well, okay. And there's one guy that was in UFIU, his name is we call him Debo. He was like the sergeant of arms, real big dude. He's actually a coach at Leo right now. He was like, okay. So he jumped at one of my guys, jumped on him on the couch, like, okay, we're gonna see if y'all dogs or not. Well, my guys, they tussled back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They jumped on a couple more of us. He was like, man, these guys are dogs. They not scared of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we pledged. No, I take that back. We didn't pledge. Darnell seen something in us where a couple of them didn't have to pledge. He saw some leadership in us. He saw the grindiness. He saw the determination. He saw loyalty. You know what I'm saying? So a couple of my guys did have to pledge and go through hell night. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on the line for like 6 weeks before you can even cross. Now, when I say hell week, just like again, you watch School Days, hell week was it. When it's time for you to cross over, we had this paddle called Thumbo. Thumbo was about 6 feet long, and it was a paddle. So hell night, once it's time for you to go over, it was like a fraternity session. It was like you're gonna like pledge, you're gonna get that, excuse my language, get that butt whoop just to see if you really equipped for this. Right. And a couple of my guys went through it, and we all joined together after that point. It was like magical, you know what I'm saying? But again, Darnell showed us this is what it is to be in a dance group or performance group and be loyal. Because after taking a beat down or pledging, you have no other choice but to say, you know what, I'm not going nowhere else after doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that,
I was gonna ask.
It was real.
I was gonna ask, take it back a little bit. So the K59, when you joined K59, how long was that group established?
Early on?
Yeah. How long?
If you talking about early on, I think we left.
From when you started.
Okay, well, let's jump start. So after that, you know what I'm saying, I was in UFIU for maybe about 3 or 4 years, and I got an opportunity to work for the Chicago Park District. So once I started working at Jackson Park, you know, I was still in UFIU. Times changed, you know what I'm saying? They went from stepping to footwork. So I tried to stay on and things of that nature, but my role at UFIU at that point, I was the vice president of UFIU. I ended up being elected, being the vice president of UFIU. And I tried and tried, then everything changed. It went from stepping to footwork. Right. So I couldn't footwork work for crap. So I'm like, I'm still gonna be here for a minute. But Darnell always said that he saw more leadership in me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something bigger for you to do. So at that point, after my stint with UFIU and then House of Maddox, I was at House of Maddox for a minute. Hey, Ronnie, I was at House of Maddox for a minute as a vice president as well. You know what I'm saying? That brother showed me love. You know what I'm saying? And when my thing is this, I left being mad at Darnell on certain things because I felt like I couldn't grow, but my love was with UFIU. So I ended up going to House of Maddox as vice president. Ronnie, how many days I was in the vice president? I think probably about a week, maybe 2 weeks. He introduced me as the vice president, and mind you, House of Maddox was the thing at that point. So I was like, man, I'm going to join him. You know what I'm saying? And after that, you know, House of Maddox and UFIU ended up becoming brother clubs before I went to House of Maddox. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real brief on this as far as the connection with UFIU and House of Maddox. House of Maddox was younger than UFIU. These young guys was like, if you remember back in the day, that music group ABC and stuff like that. They was young, they was hungry, they were doing things that we wasn't doing. They was on the main platform performing, not in the party district, not at the parties, they were just performing. So we was looking at these young guys like, these young guys cutting the rug. So we ended up beating House of Maddox at the Playhouse on 63rd and Halsted. And we had an agenda. We were like, we should battle these guys. and we finna take a name. But House of Max and UFIU, we end up battling. It was a no-win situation. It's two different styles. Their style was different than our style. We stepped. These guys was performers, you know what I'm saying? So we going back and forth with different styles, and it was like no one could win because who gonna judge and say, okay, House of Max won, UFIU won. It was no winners. So we end up saying, you know what? Instead of going back and forth with each other, let's become brother clubs. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the unity between UFIU, House of Maddox, Ronnie Darnell, myself became family at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because them guys was awesome. We was awesome on our side. They was damn awesome on their side. So with that, I'm gonna cut it short. We, over the years, we remained brother clubs, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. Ronnie and Darnell ended up becoming the best of friends through their relationship. And even to this day, 30 plus years, they still best friends, along with myself. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had our issues and things of that nature as far as battling and group things of that nature, but we never, to this day, we fought. I'm not gonna lie, we fought, but it was like the passion. Ronnie had passion with House of Max, they crew. We had passion. So it was like, man, something gotta give. You know what I'm saying? So after so many years, I end up, like I said, going to Jackson Park, and I started K-9 back. You know what I'm saying? For some, I don't know, God told me, it's like, it was some bunch of kids that was at Jackson Park not doing nothing, because I used to work as a physical instructor. So I had kids that was wanting to do certain things. So I was like, man, y'all like to dance? I'm like, yeah. So I had maybe about 5 or 6 teenagers from Jackson Park, the Woodlawn area, was like, man, I said, y'all want to be in a group? They was like, yeah. And at that point, I wasn't thinking about the name K-9. I was just thinking like, okay, let's just start a group. Right. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call y'all K-9. I'm like, okay. I told them the history. They're like, okay. But the initial thing was there was gonna be K-9, but there's gonna be a starter group. So if you was good enough to go to either House of Maddox or UFIU, I would say, hey, if you're good enough, I'm gonna send you to either Darnell or Ronnie, because this is like man, I just want to push out you to do something positive, because my intention wasn't to start a major group just to do anything. I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with Ronnie and Darnell. Okay, you can go here, you can go there. They was like, no, we doing all this practicing and rehearsing and all this. Why can't we just beat K-9 in a group? Right. And I'm so like, y'all really want this with just 6 people? They're like, yeah. They had much love for House of Maddox and UFIU, but it was something internally where they wanted to be their own. They want to be like K-9. And I was like, all right, we'll try, you know what I'm saying? And then end up getting together. Those are familiar with DJ E-Dub, that was my DJ, but he became the vice president of K-9. Mm-hmm. And we end up getting them together, practicing, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I had them dressing back in the day with Compton shirts, the little checker stuff. That was their first uniform. First show was performing at the Park District halftime, doing basketball games, performing at halftime. So everybody was like, man, they great. And back then it was the R. Kelly era. So I used to make our performance based off of R. Kelly and different things coming up, making performance off cassette tapes, looping the shit, excuse my language, looping it, trying to get everything together. And they was great. And then next thing you know, our first talent show was at Carver High School in the Gardens. Mind you, I never took these kids out of Woodlawn. So we took a bus to Argyle Gardens and performed at a major show. They came in second. And we beat the home team at the Garden. So once we got on our bus, they started throwing bricks at the bus. I'm like, what is this for? I was like, wow, this is what it's about. But my team felt good because they came in second place, and I felt good about it. I was like, okay, this made me think like they got potential. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, I started getting more kids from the Woodlawn area, more kids. And I'm like, okay, we could do this. That's in my mind made me think, okay, I can compete on the level with Darnell and Ronnie them, but I still knew it was something else that I was missing. So at Jackson Park, I still only had like 10 members. And then I ended up getting promoted leaving Jackson Park, going to Dyett Park on 51st Street. So the ones that was at Jackson Park, they followed me to Dyett Park on 51st Street. So, right, my kids were like, oh, we gotta take the bus. So I used to pick them up from Jackson Park and take them to Dyett Park. So once Robert Taylor on 51st Street got wind, there's a dance group at Dyett Park, you know what I'm saying? People from 5100 Federal, 4950, all through the projects, like, it's a group at Dyett Park. I'm like, you know, we was having practice. Next thing you know, I had from 6 members, went from 6 members to almost 50 members in maybe about a year's time. Based off of, man, it's a new group up and running. Man, it was an account like, well, these kids do. Imagine like, okay, I got some kids from the project, so that means they grind. That means that they not gonna take no less, and they could dance at the end of the day. So once I established at Dyett Park and doing the things that I knew how to do, I was like, my biggest thing was, and I hope Ryan and Darnell don't take the wrong way. I said my objective was to beat Darnell and Ronnie in any dance competition, any show whatsoever. I had much love for them, but to me, I knew K and I had a point to prove because we was the underdogs. You know what I'm saying? So once we built and got a bunch of kids together, our performance level went up, our performances went up. I was like Phil Jackson in the control room. I used to be like, okay, this is what House of Magic do. This is what you fight you do. You know what I'm saying? I was at the table like, how can I be better than them or be on the same level as them? You know what I'm saying? It was hard because Ryan and Darnell expectations for his performance was elite. So I was trying to be like them. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And I told my team, I said, we're gonna be on a level you fight you in House of Magic. Just be patient. You know what I'm saying? So we had opportunity to compete against them on many levels, and we used to lose. And I used to go back to the drawing board like Phil Jackson. Okay, it's no diss. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, I told my team, we're gonna win at any given cost. We know what they do, we know how they do it. We're just gonna do it our way. We're gonna have a K59 way. We never do it the House of Magic way, we fight way. And they was like, okay. So we went back to the drawing board, and it was nothing but love, but it was also a love-hate. Because K59, they didn't hate you fight you in House of Magic, but they wanted to be better than them. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, I want y'all to be better than any dance group out here. And mind you, back then, it was just House of Magic, you fight you, that was really killing the land. Right. Also, with House Arrest 2, killing the land. Dame group killing the land. There was so many groups killing the land, but the only ones that you could think about was House of Magic and You Fight You at that particular time. So I felt like, man, let's do it. So after so many trials and errors and things of that nature, we did it. And I hope I don't take it the wrong way because I want to be brief. And I think it was 1992 or 93, back at the Regal. You know what I'm saying? And I know I can carry this to the grave with me. No other group has ever done this, and this probably has never been mentioned. We competed at the Regal. Regal had the biggest talent showcase in the city of Chicago around that time. 30 acts. Who would think that a dance group would beat singers, rappers, violinists, instruments, all of that? You know what I'm saying? We end up, at the end of the day, beating every dance group, every rap group, every singing group, because we had the eye of the tiger. I was determined to win that showcase. Did I think we was gonna do it out of 30 acts? No. Think about the odds. A dance group versus somebody that sings, rap, and then you're not even the popular group out there. And lo and behold, we end up winning the Regal Talent Showcase. That's one thing I can carry to the grave. No other group has ever done that. Not to say it would never be done before, but I know that that's what we done. Right. We took it to another level. That's when I knew that K59 was superior and was able to be in the same lane or to be in that mention of House of Magic, You by You. So when I thought about it, back in there, okay, you think about the Bulls, the Lakers, the Celtics. I felt like we were the 90 Bulls. I felt like Darnell and Ronnie was the Celtics and the Lakers. If y'all know about basketball, it took a minute for the Bulls to get over that hump after being defeated by Detroit and all that. That's where I felt. But in order for the Bulls to do it, they had to grind, watch, review tape. And that's what I used to do. And that's why I be like, man, K-5 was the Bulls of the 90s. And I still say that. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, like Joanne, she's on here now. I see you, Joanne. Joanne was one of my best footworkers from Robert Taylor. And she can still footwork. And Joanne, what you about 42 or something like that? Still can get down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it was nothing but love. So after that happened, left the Park District, had a hiatus for about 8 or 9 years. Wouldn't think about the dance industry or nothing. And then next thing you know, I end up, you know what I'm saying, starting the group back again with younger kids, you know what I'm saying? And they would actually, it was like actually 7 generations came from that. The last generation I actually ended in 2015, I think, because I restarted it because it went from me being one of the dance group to me want to help the youth out. So I ended up getting a bunch of young kids from the Woodlawn area. I went back home, went back to the Woodlawn area and got some kids together along with myself, Legs, Princess, y'all know Princess, Legs. They helped me start, Miss K, they all helped me start a new K-5, new generation, which is younger kids didn't know how to dance or none of that. Right. And we went from having 10 members to almost 40. You know what I'm saying? Still practicing at Jackson Park. Jackson Park allowed me to come back to Jackson Park to do what we was doing, and we built from that. You know what I'm saying? So that was the last generation. I was like, okay, we finna do it. And we did it on a bigger scale. I'm like, I didn't know this was gonna happen. The footworking, that's when the footworking on my aspect with the kids, the footwork, they love footworking. They weren't doing the step, they footworking. So I had to get creative to say, Marcus, you can't make the gimmicks that you used to make with Joanna. You gotta make it more current, you know what I'm saying? So I end up still sticking with my old school music like Car Wash, Mary J, and things of that nature, making my performance tapes. I'm an old school head, so I always kept that format, and they enjoyed it. But after a while, it's like, Marcus, why we gotta keep doing Car Wash and gimmicks with wigs and all? And times it changed, but we're steady winning. In 2015, I think we won the Bud Parade in the cheerleading category because at that time I had them in cheerleading outfits, not knowing that they're a dance group, but we ended up winning that in that category. So it was like a effort that I did, and I did it more so for the kids because K-5 name was already out there. I also did it for the kids to keep them off the street, them doing something positive versus them out there not doing nothing. And then when I incorporated grades, in order for you to stay at K-5, you had to have a beat average. I made sure all the kids bring me grades every marking period. I made sure the parents was incorporated in parent meetings and things of that nature. I made sure they prayed before practice. I made sure they prayed before performance. And now I look at the dance industry now, it's a lot of groups just praying now. And I can honestly say they probably got it from K-5 because I don't think no other group was praying before practice or before a performance. You know what I'm saying? Or even have a mission statement. I think my group was the first group that had a mission statement. Before we even perform, we recite the mission statement before we perform. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, it was a gift and a curse, but I look at it now in the dance industry now and the culture as far as the footworking. I love where the dance industry is going, but I still miss the fact that they switched over. They went from performing to stand battle and stuff like that. So I had to I was angry at first. I was like, but no, Marcus, you gotta realize generations change. It would never be the same on how Marcus, Darnell, Ronnie, the big Marcuses, the Juices, we left it, we did it, we made print on what we did. So I look at it now like, wow, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give big ups to Matthew. Matthew probably got the biggest team out here. I give big up to Tish. You know what I'm saying? There's other groups that's out here that's doing their thing. And I want to encourage them to keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna always be haters. There's gonna always be somebody gonna be like, you can't do it. There's always gonna be somebody saying that you can't do it. But don't get it twisted. You got to do it for the love. Don't do it because you can make $1. And a lot of teams do it. Oh, I can put this money in my pocket because I can cash in on them. And that was one of my biggest things. I never cashed in on my kids. They dues was $1 a week. $1 a week. You know what I'm saying? But we still made it do what it do. We started fundraising, dollar tacos, stuff like that. Now it's a bunch of teams that do dollar tacos because they're like, okay, we can do this. But you still got people that's out here that still extort these kids. And then on the footwork aspect of it, I love where they're going with it. The footwork started here in Chicago. Now it's global. It's global. It's global. You know what I'm saying? Especially the era. Light Bulb and the rest of them, I love them to death. I love Will. He's doing this thing on incorporating or even getting teams on the platform or being downtown and they doing the circle and stuff like that. So, you know, I feel that at the end of the day. So I have no ill regards. I just want to let the dance industry know, keep doing what you're doing, love what you're doing. I know you're not getting no $5 tacos right now. I just encourage them to keep doing what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So
okay, so what I wanted to ask, as far as the name K59, what's the meaning behind the name?
Well, when we first started out, along with my cousin, Big Marcus, Juice, and Aaron, Rodney, K59 was a symbol of K9, which is a dog, you know what I'm saying, K9. We was dogs, you know what I'm saying? We didn't fear nothing, you know what I'm saying? We was like goons at the end of the day. We gonna scrape with you or whatever the case may be. And I kept that mentality on being scrapers, even after the old heads, myself, Big Mars, rest of, I kept that incorporated to the K59 from Jackson Park, Robert Taylor. We wasn't going. If you disrespect the name, not only we gonna beat you on the dance floor, if you disrespect the name and get in our face, it's gonna be an issue. It was never no gunplay, but I always told them, respect the name and don't nobody ever disrespect the name, because if it does, then it's on and pop. And that's just the reality. But it was never no gunplay. We'll fight somebody and we'll be good and be cool the next day. But I also wanted to let them know, never disrespect the name. You know what I'm saying? Because we never disrespect nobody else's name. But K59, we used the 5 because it was Greek. We could have kept the K9 as dog, but we used the 5 because that's one of the Greek letters in the Greek word.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So did you I know you said that you couldn't get down with the Chicago footwork aspect, you know what I'm saying? You tried it and it just wasn't your cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? So did you actually like learn it though, like battle, like, you know what I'm saying, with it? You know what I mean? With you know, having your own group.
Well, personally, no, I couldn't do it. If my life, I could do a little simple stuff, but I never prohibited my group to learn it, because that's what I used to like incorporate footwork. But they used to learn from going to different venues like Ann Brown. Ann Brown was in K59. Ann Brown was one of the best footworkers ever to me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my team used to go to the dungeon, and they leave K59 practice and go to the dungeon and learn from Ed and bring it back to practice and be like, this is what we learned. I'm like, all right. So K59 ended up being one of the best footworking teams out here, because I didn't limit their skills. I'm like, I just couldn't do it personally. I didn't tell them, no. I wanted them to expand themselves and learn it, doing the Holy Ghost and all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was needed. I couldn't be stuck in the time capsule and say, this is not needed.
Right.
Dude, they was going to the dungeon. They definitely was getting heat. They was cooking in the
They was coming back to practice, K59 practice.
Ready.
So, edge.
Yeah.
Fire.
Killing the land. I was like, okay. And even with House of Max used to go out west with Calvin and Goose. You know what I'm saying? So, and House of Max brought the Holy Ghost to the South Side. So I'm like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So it was like nothing but like us being a team, but we all respect each other at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I still honor my friendship with Darnell and Ronnie. 35 years, still friends to this day. You know what I'm saying? We can sit back and laugh and joke about the things we used to do. But at the end of the day, we made a family out of it. His family is my family, all across the board. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them guys, because if it wasn't for them two, it wouldn't have been no K59. I would never had a vision to rebring or to rebrand K59. You know what I'm saying? Or even to get back into it. I also got to thank my cousin Big Marcus, Aaron Juice from Foster Park. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other guys that helped me keep my vision going. You know what I'm saying? On helping the youth and doing something positive.
Okay, so I wanted to also ask, right? Because I'm super deep. I got like 1,000 questions.
I'm over here. Go ahead, Will.
I wanted to. I think I probably asked Ronnie and I asked Darnell this as well. When for me, when did the names change? So back then, you guys was going off like first name, last name, but now it's nicknames. So do you remember when did that change?
You talking about as far as an individual dancer?
Yeah, individual dancers.
Well, back when we first started, like early on, like with K59, I had a nickname. My name was Bam Bam. You know what I'm saying? Big Marcus' name was K Sensation. You know what I'm saying? So it was like in 80, 89, 90, we had names that identified us. You know what I'm saying? K Sensation, think about different things. Bam Bam was my name because I was like, I don't know why that was my name, but I don't know because I stepped the hardest or whatever the case may be. But nickname as far as dancing was like 89, 90 to identify who you were in the dance industry. Your dance style, I would say.
Got you. Yeah, because I always wanted that. Also, I had a question from one of my students from Japan. They actually asked me, where do the low end start from and where do it end?
The low end?
Yeah, cornerstone.
I would say
cornerstone two-toe action. Yep.
Well, the low end, I can't, because I didn't get to the low end as far as practicing until like 93, 94. But Ronnie and them had the low end sold up because everybody used to party at the center on 51st and State Boys and Girls Club, the Limelight on 35th. So that goes way beyond, I came in probably on the back end, but I would say, man, I can't be exact, but the low end played a big impact on the dance community because, again, like I said, House of Matters had the low end sold up, not Final Phase, Phase 2 had it sold up because they was from the low end. House of Matters, they was from Inglewood, but they was from the low end. Jackathons, they was from the low end. So there's a bunch of who's else from the low end that had a lot of stuff going on. And the only reason we came around because that was the party spot. The Boys and Girls Club was the spot to be at. DJ Sluggo, Dion, Milton. That was the place to be at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
Dang, that's dope. Was it? I know you had. I know after you had. I know you had did a lot of accomplishments and things like that. Was it anything that you wanted to accomplish that you didn't get a chance to, or some that you wanted to do with the group that you didn't get a chance to?
One thing that I regret, I never started as far as business-wise, like a 501c, a not-for-profit with K59. Even though the name is legally mine, after I finished the K PHI 9 thing, I ended up getting a non-for-profit organization called You Dream Big. I'll start working over there at Germano Millgate over East 87 in Burley. So it went from You Dream Big, where it was like feeding the homeless and things of that nature. So it went from that to You Dream Big Dance Group. So I ended up trying to do it again, but under You Dream Big Dance Troupe. So it just got, to me, I got physically drained, mentally drained on the dance industry, on the changes. So I think I kept You Dream Big Dance Troupe for about a year and a half, 2 years, because I wasn't getting the support. Choreographers used to take me out, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted them to do the stand battles and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, these kids kept reaching out to me. Mr. Marcus, can you please start a dance group? We knew about you in K PHI 9. And I tried it, but even to this day, I still got that non-for-profit organization that we still doing things in the community. So that's the only thing that I regret. I was never able to make K PHI 9 to like a LLC or not-for-profit organization. So that was one of my regrets. But best to believe, me and my team had a ball. We had banquets where I showed my acknowledgement to the team, giving out trophies. We did so much, man. And even to this day, I call them my kids. I'm 52. A lot of them like grown, but I still call them my kids, like Dayon. Y'all know Dayon. That's my daughter to death, you know what I'm saying? And we just represent whenever we can, going to parties and trying to hang out every time just to show, you know, it was about K PHI 9, but at the end of the day, we're a family. You know what I'm saying? I know them people got my back. You know what I'm saying? They always check on me and things of that nature. They always call me Pops. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me feel good that I made a difference in the community and in a couple of generations. So
yeah, but I mean, you guys always have, you know, just, you know, K PHI 9, U5U, House-O-Matics, you know what I'm saying? Even though you guys' names are not like, you know what I'm saying, you have a group, you know what I'm saying, official group out there, but through our groups, y'all live on. You see what I'm saying? So y'all was the starting point, you know what I'm saying, to like get us to, you know what I mean? Like, we can't do nothing without y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that was one reason of us building this platform, you know what I'm saying, to like, you know, we wanted to like have you guys to get on and tell y'all history and y'all stories, you know what I'm saying, on where these names and where these great dancers came from. You know what I'm saying? You know, they hear from us all the time. They need to put the name to the face.
Man, absolutely, man. This is just a suggestion, man. You guys on this platform, man, we need to come together outside the media thing and make an event where you guys, we can do bowling and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? I would love to do that with each group or anybody that you interview, and we come together, go bowling and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want, because that shows, you know, y'all appreciate us, and we appreciate you guys on putting this platform together. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that's something y'all should think about, and I think we should do that, man, because I love all you guys on this platform, man.
Yeah, I agree. I'm down. I'm down with.
Don't be getting all mushy, Marcus.
Collabing and stuff.
Shut up, Prince.
So if y'all,
man,
let's get into these questions for Marcus. You know what I mean? Type them in the chat.
You know he's gonna cry, Princess. You know he's gonna cry.
Me and J-Ron is gonna read them off. We're gonna read them off to Marcus so he can answer them. Hey, you looked on Facebook too. I mean, I put it in Facebook too to make sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I sure did. Yep. Hold on, let me see. Let me give him some time.
Yeah. So type those questions. Type those questions. I can't wait to see them either. I cannot wait to see these questions, boy.
Well, while y'all waiting for questions, Marcus, you gotta tell them about the performance. You didn't actually tell them what we did for the recruit. I really believe that on the Regal is when Derek put his shoe up to his head. Yeah, I think I got a booty call. Remember that?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna answer Prince's question. At the Regal when we won it, and we finally got there like before, we supposed to be there 2 hours before showtime. And I seen different groups props and things of that nature. And I'm like, one of our performers, we had somebody coming out of a casket. And I remember myself, me and Troy, and I think Derek, we went on 63rd and State and got a big old, I think it was a dresser, hours before the Regal, put it in my van and took it to the Regal, and we made it into a casket. And it was something else you just said, Princess. What else you said we did?
Oh, that's when they used to have a track. I think I got a booty call. You remember that track? And so Derek was soloing, and he took off his shoe and put it up to his ear like he had a telephone.
Oh yeah. If anybody knew, I wish Derek was on it. To me, Derek Needle was the best footwork in the city of Chicago. This dude used to footwork on the wall, literally. Never been done before. Footworking on the wall, literally. I wish I could show y'all, but no BS. This guy was the ultimate footworker, period.
He said footwork on the wall.
Oh yeah, and then you guys had Carl in the party too. Marcus, don't forget about Carl. I mean, it's so
Not for working
Oh
on
yeah,
the wall.
Carl.
the list for footworking, but
Carl Daniels was
Carl
I need to see that.
was their party. At DJ, on 51st at the El Lodge. He was quiet though. He was watching. Oh, I see. But he definitely still got the works on feet.
Hey Jay, I think
Okay. Okay, they all I see they all coming in now on the Zoom. The questions. So
yeah,
we good.
We got
So
the first.
we got first one with Darnell. Shout out to Darnell. First question. He said, how did you feel when the Banging Down King Drive video went viral?
Well, RP Boo, he came to us first about banging on King Drive, and he wanted to incorporate K59. When he made that track, and you can go on YouTube and look up Banging on King Drive K59, it went viral. It went from my kids' hair getting done at the shop. My daughter do hair, so my daughter did every girl hair in K59. The footage was awesome. That was like one of the biggest feelings. Like, it was so huge. I think that was probably the biggest parade for K59 to me. And for that, RP Boo, if you're on there, love you always. RP Boo put us on the map with Banging on King Drive. Now, everybody last year, somebody was using the same track. I'm not hating. I'm just like, okay, that's what it is. Y'all bang on King Drive. That's Bud Billiken Parade. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love that track. Still love it to this day.
That video's epic. Epic.
So,
what was the next question you were saying, Boo?
Mel got a question. That was going to be my question.
Oh, about the gimmicks?
Gimmicks, yeah. We got a question from Steve-O on Facebook. He said, what is the footwork groups that are top 5 to you?
Past or present? I need to know that. I mean, you got to tell me past or present. I can do past more, so I can do present.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that one. Jay, you want to get our Wheels?
Then yeah. So this from Wheels. Shout out to Wheels. He said, does Marcus or anyone know where the parade march comes from? From all the dance groups that all the dance groups do?
As far as the parade marches?
Yeah, where do that come from?
I can only go off of on what I got out of it. I got my skill set on me doing parade marches with K59. I got it basically being in the parade with FIU. You know what I'm saying? Parade march 1. Every gimmick or every performance we always had a name for it. Parade March 1, Combination 1, Combination 2, Combination 3. You know what I'm saying? So we used to always come up with names to identify the parade marches or combinations. So I think, me personally, I learned that from Darnell. I know Ronnie had it too. So Ronnie and Darnell incorporated to me those marches, the combinations, and I just, like I said, piggyback off what they teach us on what I learned from them.
Good. And and then next question is Steve-O said both past and present as far as the your top footwork groups to you.
All right, pass, I would have to say House of Maddox, because again, like I said, they Calvin Goose, the twins, David and Dave, they brought the Holy Ghost to the South Side. I would say House Arrest 2, K PHI 9, Phase 2, Main Attraction from out west. I gotta give Terrain. People forget about Terrain. The West Side, Terrain had the West Side sold up. You know what I'm saying? So Terrain, definitely, they had awesome footwork. Was that 4 or 5?
I think that was 4. That was funny.
Man, I'll just say after that, I would say Dane. Yeah, Dane. Dane his group. People forget about Dane. Dane was a beast in his own. It's like you can't. Yeah, Dane. His team was awesome. They were so creative. Period.
Okay. The next question is okay, so for someone that's coming into the culture or a up and coming dancer in the culture, what would be 5 tips that you would give to them, or 5 things that you think they should know?
Going to a dance team?
Yeah, just someone coming into the culture, like learning Chicago footwork, learning to be a dancer, learning to be like new in the group as a up and coming dancer. What would be like 5 tips that you could give them?
First of all, you have to love the culture. You have to know the culture. You have to be loyal. You have to be dedicated, and just master the craft. That's it. That's all. And whoever's teaching them, learn from the best.
Yeah, that's right there. Then, okay, this right here is the next question. This is from Joanne. Says, Marcus, how do it feel to play a big impact in so many youth lives?